Fox Sports.
We are we are FC.
I think it's an organizational-wide achievement, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. This team is wonderful to be around. It's a joy to be their manager. I could see him coming out of the corner of my eye, yeah. No, I shouldn't have ran. I broke the microphone and had to ruin the interview.
Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Kansas City summer is here. The weather is warming up, and so are the Royals. They have won 4 in a row and begin a 3-game series tonight against the Boston Red Sox. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. I don't think anybody panicked when the Royals were slumping. They did lose 9 of 11. They fell out of first place. But I think we knew, Hud, based on what they did in 2013 and last year, that eventually they were going to break out of it.
This is a very talented team, Ryan, and we're witnessing that all the time. But there are ups and downs in the game. But whenever a manager gets all 3 categories working, pitching, defense, and the timely hits, we see wins.
And that's exactly what's happening right now. The Royals have gone from losing 9 of 11 to winning 8 of 10. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard, they are scoring again. That's a big thing. That was the biggest category during the slump. So the batting average at the top of the league again. Team ERA back at the top of the league again.
Yeah, I like the runs per game, 4.6. That is exactly what they need, just like you said, Rhino. But look, everything starts with great starting pitching. You've got to have that. The consistency there has wavered a little bit, but the last 10 games, it hasn't. Pitching and defense, we've talked about that. That's going to make their team. But the timely hits, oh, you can't replace those. I don't know what you like better, but when all 3 at the same time are coming, so are the wins.
It'll be Johan Pino with a fill-in start tonight, with Yordano Ventura going on the disabled list. And the Royals will be seeing one of the best young left-handers in the American League, Eduardo Rodriguez. Joel and Monty are next.
missing Selena Gomez. The heart wants what it wants, and today Selena Gomez just wanted to get a hit off Jeff Montgomery, but she popped up. She wasn't really sure exactly what was going on, but they had the big baseball game, softball game, whatever you want to call it, for Big Slick benefited Children's Mercy. Joel Goldberg back with Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Did a pretty good job pitching to her.
I did my best, Joel. I gave her everything I had, tried to give her something she could hit out of the ballpark.
I did see her walk on the field with her glove and say, how does this work? But at least she was able to pop that up. More importantly, let's talk baseball here, and Ned Yost. Last night, 411th career win, most in Royals history. What are your thoughts?
Well, I know he wants to really downplay this because it is a team accomplishment, but I think Ned deserves so much credit. And here's a guy that even admitted a couple of situations during his career he may have been fired, but now I think you're going to see him on the Royals Hall of Fame once his managerial career is over here as a Royal.
Congrats to Ned Yost. How about his moves evading the bucket there?
He just about got out of the way.
Just about. You just got to wear it. And he admitted to that afterwards. Congratulations to the Royals' all-time wins leader. He'll look for 412 tonight with Johan Pino on the hill throwing to Salvador Perez. First pitch is coming up next.
U-verse high-speed internet. The U-verse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. By your local Kansas City Chevy dealers. Come visit for great prices on all the new 2000 vehicles today. And by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gets back to schools across Missouri. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. My goodness, have the fans come out this year in packed Kauffman Stadium. 36,000 here last night for a Thursday evening game against a last place team, and now the Boston Red Sox are in last place. They're here for a 3-game weekend series. Man, John Farrell, he's got a smile on his face right now. He has had quite a run in Boston. His first year they won the World Series. His second year they're in last place. They're in last place again. And here's his batting order, which has been swinging the bat well in the month of June, but overall it has been a rough first third of the season for the Boston Red Sox.
It's been tough, Rhino, but you know, like you said, Farrell's been through it before. His team's only 9 games out. We're not close to the All-Star game yet. There's plenty of time for this guy to rebound his team. Now he's got his 2 hottest hitters up at the top, Holt and Bettis. Those guys are extremely hot right now, and so they got a couple of guys in there that can really get on base and cause some havoc.
The Royals lead the league in ERA, and they have 3 starters on the disabled list. And Kia puts us in the driver's seat with 31-year-old Yohan Pino, who will be making his 7th appearance for the Royals this year in his first start.
Yeah, he earned it because his scoreless relief that he supplied earlier in the season was really good. He's not an overpowering guy. He sinks his fastball. You see Ventura there, who's able to spend a little time on the disabled list, get a little bit smarter watching some of these veteran guys. But Pino, he's one of those guys that's going to add and subtract and expand when he's ahead and just finesse. He's got all 4 pitchers. He's a sinker ball guy. Sinker, slider, 2 and 4 seam fastballs.
Got it way in on him. And Hosmer makes a play in front of Infante. And a look at the Royals defensively tonight, presented by Ford. Yohan Pino making his first start in the big leagues this year. Called up to the Minnesota Twins last season. Hud, this will warm your heart. After 11 years in the minor leagues.
I absolutely love guys that have persevered and just never given up. And watching Pino coming in today, I got him when he did. He had his 2 little girls and his wife with him. And I just looked at him and said, man, I'm so happy you're here. Have fun out there and perform. And that's what he's doing. He's pitching for his family, this guy. And he pitches with a sense of urgency. Every game, whenever he gets a chance, he's pitching like it could be his last. That's what you want.
Little half swing. Infante is going to have to hurry in time. Red Sox aren't sure. Mookie Betts turns around immediately and stares at the dugout, and John Farrell takes the step out of the dugout.
Watch how Betts, watch him, he checks his swing. Look at how far inside the line he is. He's almost halfway to the pitcher's mound. Now that happens sometimes when guys come out of the box, but see, he straightens up down the line, and ooh, man, Infante had a little bit of lob on the throw, might have put a little more juice on it. Oh yeah, he might have beat that. And Infante had him played to pull, but once you get that transfer from glove to hand, you gotta whip that thing over there, and he's got plenty of good arm. I think he just maybe didn't have a good grip on the ball.
Umpire on your left is Bruce Dreckman. He made the call at first base, joined by the crew chief and home plate umpire Tom Hallion. It appeared that the ball
took forever to get to his glove.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it entered his glove before his foot got to the bag, but it took a while for it to hit the back of the glove.
Hosmer's glove, if it could talk, was saying, come on, get here, get here. And it was that changeup that Infante threw over there.
The Red Sox have challenged 22 times this year, and they've been successful 8 times.
Not as good as our guy.
Well, I mean, I'm not in New York with all these screens, but I've seen enough. Have you seen enough? I mean, what else are you looking at? I mean,
I don't know. It's a long way, though, from here to New York, isn't it?
Yeah, but Hud, there's a thing called satellites. And yeah, I mean, this isn't like the Pony Express getting the video to New York from here.
It's like speed of sound, quick.
Wow. Okay. Foot on bag. There. Ball impacts the glove. There. Safe. Let's go. You think he's going to be out?
We've seen it before when it looked obvious. You never know. They're taking on this long.
Okay, headsets safe. And over 30,000 people here tonight are wondering how the umpires are going to give 2 minutes of their life back to them.
Well, they got it right. That's the main thing.
David Ortiz, look at that, 231, 9 home runs, 29 RBIs, and we're past the 1/3 mark of the season. Dustin Pedroia is not in the lineup for Boston. He has a sore left knee. Shane Victorino is also on the disabled list for Boston. So from 03 to 2014, an average of 34 home runs, 108 RBIs, but he's on pace to drive in just 69 this year. Hosmer, nice play on a short hop, high throw, double play, inning over.
Wow, what wasn't extremely easy, but the talented Royals are able to help Pino out. Nice play.
History 411, and it was fitting that he achieved that last night against the Brewers, the first team that he managed for. And the Royals have a 3.5 game lead over Minnesota, a 5.5 game lead over Detroit in the Central.
It's amazing how baseball lines things up. You know, if they'd have lost one of those games to Milwaukee, it wouldn't have happened against the Brewers. So this a nice run for Ned, and congratulations.
Royals State Farm lineup tonight. Alex Rios dropping down in the batting order. He will bat 8th. And the Royals are going to face a tough pitcher, 22 years old. And the Red Sox are very excited about this young man's future. Eduardo Rodriguez.
Very sneaky fastball. 92 to 95. He's got a little side arm type angle to right-handers. He's going to throw an occasional 2-seam sinker, but mainly hard fastballs, 4-seamers. His slider, he doesn't have a lot of confidence in it. He'll throw it down for guys to chase it, but he's mainly a changeup, fastball changeup guy. Hard changeup too. His changeup is 86 to 88, which is a hard change. Electric fastball, late movement. Likes to come inside. There's his repertoire of pitches there. Good arm. They like it. He's young. 6'2", 210.
2-2 on Escobar.
So look for fastball changeups. And then every once in a while surprise you with a slider in the dirt. Here he comes right at you.
Back door. Tom Hallion. And only Tom Hallion will ring up a hitter like that. And Rodriguez begins his outing with a strikeout.
Side of the ball. Nice. They call that a backdoor slider. It comes in from the outside. It freezes the righty once he sees it out of his release point. It keeps him from swinging, and then he lays off it, and there it is. Catches the outside of the dish.
96 to Mike Moustakas, and that's a tough angle for a left-hand hitter. I mean, you really got to keep that front shoulder in there.
This would be a good test for Moose.
That's into the left field corner. And foul. That ball straightens up when it gets down into that corner and almost straighten up enough to hit the foul pole. Take a look at the Boston Red Sox defensively. They are minus when it comes to defensive runs saved, minus 14.
Well, they got a new left fielder. He's normally a shortstop, and he's had a hard time adjusting to left field. A couple of different guys out there. I tell you, one of my favorite all-time players, Brock Holt. He's playing second base tonight. This guy can play anywhere. He's a manager's delight.
Bogarts calls off Sandoval. 2 down.
There he is. The kid's incredible. Last 13 games, this guy has started in right field, left field, third base, first base, second base. Pedroia, he's got a little banged up knee, got some fluid on there. He's taking a little chill pill. They put him in there when he feels good. But Brock Holt's the manager's best friend. You got a guy like that that can fill in for anyone at any time and do an adequate to above average job. You got to love him.
Lorenzo Cain pulls it foul. And on the topic of Dustin Pedroia, our University of Kansas hospital injury report, left knee inflammation. And while the Red Sox have struggled, he has not, and he has always done well against the Royals. And there's a line out to first. Napoli takes care of Lorenzo Cain, and the Royals are down in order against Rodriguez. Look from our brand spanking new Royals live studio out in left field. That's where Joel and Monty are prior to and after every home game. What was Monty's line today in the Big Slick softball game? Did he represent us well?
He did, although he didn't try to. For probably the first time in his career, ball's laced.
Right to Alex Gordon, 1 out.
Whenever he towed the slab, he was actually trying to throw cookies up there to the hitters. Look at that smile. He never smiled when he was out there before, but this is a nice little fundraiser, folks. And look at Selena Gomez there going after it.
She had an at-bat later in the game where she grounded one to the third base dugout and ran. And that, now you know you're a celebrity when you can pull that off.
Now, you know what? I think a lot of successful people like that spend more time in their business than playing a game.
Right. But a foul ball is a foul ball. I mean, celebrity softball tournament or not.
I agree. You would think that she would have known not to run. Anyway, there was a lot of fans here. It was fun.
Sander Bogaerts 0-2 against Johan Pino. You know, the question came up after Pino pitched the top of the first inning. Did we see him pitch out of the windup at all when he was here pitching out of the bullpen? I don't remember this windup. I mean, it's a busy windup. I mean, if you're a hitter, you got a lot to keep an eye on the way he moves around.
Big step back like that with his left foot. That gets him going. That gets him rocking. And then he loads up. I like how he does a nice full twist with his lower half. So he's really getting some momentum gathered with his legs and his hips. Watch him turn. A good turn. Good separation of his hands and his glove right over his knee whenever he's coming home, right over the rubber. He knows how to pitch. He just hasn't had an opportunity. I mean, he has had some with Minnesota, and he made the best of it here in a Royals uniform, and that's the reason they called his name. He did well before, and he was pitching very well in AAA.
Bogaerts is on with 1 out. That's the Red Sox second hit. This Father's Day, join Major League Baseball and the Prostate Cancer Foundation in the fight against prostate cancer. Log on to MLBcommunity.org or PCF.org to learn more. Well, that poor guy just can't bear to watch Pablo Sandoval come to the plate. Brings back bad memories. I don't blame you, little guy. Sandoval had another, not just the Royals, another productive World Series. He had 429 for the Giants, and he's a 426 career hitter in the World Series.
Ooh, man, great experience, tremendous numbers. He's a money player.
I can still almost feel how stunned I was when Sandoval caught that pop-up and the Giants were throwing their gloves in the air celebrating. It was just like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, what happened? It was the first time all postseason that we got off script. Kane into the sunlight, long run. He's going to have to play it off the wall. And because he got it back to the infield so quickly, Bogaerts has to hold at third base. That's a 9-game hitting streak for Pablo Sandoval.
You talk about line drives over center fielder's head. Those are the most difficult. Watch how he looks like he's off balance. His backside flies open, but he catches the ball on the back underside, and look at the spin he generated. Really good carry. Kane thought he had a beat on it, but that ball just kept carrying. One hops the wall, short hops it, and it comes right back to him. So he's able to read the hop, bare hands, and get it back in there and keep any Red Sox from scoring. Nice recovery on that hit. That was a tremendous hit.
So he's starting to get going after a slow start, getting us to Mike Napoli with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out. There is only one hitter in the Red Sox lineup tonight that has ever faced Johan Pino, and that man's on deck, Alejandro De Aza. So this is the first look for 8 of the 9 Red Sox hitters.
I like the Royals. Most offenses like guys that throw strikes, but the importance of Pino is to be able to mix them up and add and subtract velocity and expand the strike zone when he gets ahead. That means make the plate bigger, make him swing off of the dish when you get 2 strikes on him. He has the ability to do that. If he can wiggle his way out of this inning here, that'd be a big confidence booster for him. Not going to happen.
And Sandoval was first held and then waved home by third base coach Brian Butterfield. So Mike Napoli, who has had a roller coaster ride this year at the plate, drives in 2, and Boston leads 2-0.
Napoli came through, and that was kind of a jam shot, but hit it in the exact place you want to hit it. Napoli just hitting $179 with a runner in scoring position so far this year. Gets him on top first.
Got 2 third base coaches there.
Yeah. Brian Butterfield, third base coach for John Farrell and the Red Sox. He's in his 3rd year and 36th year in professional baseball. One of the best third base coaches there are. He's got a lot of experience as a bench coach, infield instructor, one of the finest.
De Aza pulls it foul. Alejandro De Aza started the year with the Orioles and then placed on waivers, picked up by the Red Sox. He's the only hitter in the lineup who had faced Pino before tonight. He's 5 for 7 against Pino.
He's finding holes.
Well, Sal wanted to pitch up. It's a little too high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's a good pitch. That's part of his expanding the zone. 4-seam fastball up.
Got it in on his hands and may have cracked his bat. There's Hud's buddy and former Royal Chili Davis. Extraordinary moments happen every night in baseball, but on one night they all happen in one place. Don't miss the 86th All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Tuesday, July 14th on Fox.
One of my top 5 favorite teammates all time, Chili Davis, 3 years with the Angels. Learn more about hitting from him than any other teammate.
2-2 on De Aza.
And believe me, I needed help. He didn't. He was a fantastic switch hitter in his day. And you know, you throw 3-time All-Star, you throw Rod Carew as a hitting coach and listen to those 2 guys talk hitting, you couldn't help but learn. Situations. What the pitcher's trying to do to you. The last at bat, coming off the field, he'd say, man, I told you, Rod, he was going to try to get me on that 2-2 count. He was going to try to get me to swing off the plate, and I didn't swing. Stuff like that was good for any young player to hear, young hitter. Being the DH, he didn't have to go back on the field.
Napoli runs, and that is ball 4. The only out in the inning was a line out to left. And now a single, a double, a 2-run single, and a walk. And that'll bring Dave Island out of the Royals dugout. One advantage that Ned Yost has tonight with Pino on the mound is that Pino was starting at AAA. So Chris Young, when he made his first start for the Royals, there was a limited pitch count because he'd been pitching out of the bullpen. Joe Blanton the same, but Ned said that he's fine with Pino going 100, maybe even 110 pitches tonight.
Hope the situation calls for it and he keeps him in the game.
So 2 on, 1 out to Blake Swihart, Red Sox catcher, and he hits that hard to right field. Back goes Rios, and that's over his head. 1 run home. De Aza will score, and the Boston Red Sox have scored 4 in the top of the 2nd inning.
You could tell how loud it was on contact there. Swire was able to connect. And that ball is right down the middle of the plate. That's what hitters look for.
Brock Holt takes a slider for strike 1. He popped out to Hosmer to begin the game. Holt has hit in 6 straight games. Up the middle. Infante gets some help from Hosmer. 2 down, and Swihart goes to 3rd.
Hosmer has great feet, and he's able to read the throw and just come off the bag and use his hands, make the tag, help out Pino there.
So runner at 3rd, 2 down to Mookie Betts, who was on with an infield single in the 1st inning. And you told me before the game that we're going to see Mookie Betts do something in this series that no other team has seen him do all year.
We're going to get him to hit into a lane ball. He's going to hit a ground ball double play sometime in this series, I feel.
Hitting .500 over a 6-game hitting streak, and just under .360 over the past 2 weeks.
He's gone 253 at-bats coming into this game without grounding into a double play.
Which is the most in the major leagues. So we'll keep an eye out for that. 5-run inning for the Red Sox. Pino's having a tough time getting the ball down.
Well, the last part of the Red Sox lineup, they're all coming through. Wasn't the first 4 hitters. That bottom's really coming through. Big hole over there on that side.
David Ortiz is the 9th man to bat in the inning. He grounded into a 3-6-3 double play to end the top of the 1st. And we hear that David Ortiz has been doing a lot of that, just missing pitches. A lot of fouls back to the screen. It seemed like he had this pitch pretty well timed. He was not off balance, just didn't make solid contact. Hosmer backhands a hard hit one-hopper. That ends the inning. Boston comes up with 5 against Pino in the 2nd inning. 9 in the second and scored 5. Napoli and Swihart both drove in 2, and Mookie Betts drove in 1. So the Royals have their work cut out for them against Eduardo Rodriguez, who got the Royals 3 up, 3 down in the first inning. Hosmer, Morales, and Gordon in the second. 0-2 on Eric Hosmer.
Royals a respectable 275 against southpaws this year. Haas holding his own, 262, couple homers. He's doing a nice job against the lefties. Anything over 250 is really good. Ooh, nice.
Good start. Great swing. Boy, was that pretty.
Wow. There's that from the side. It's almost a sidearm fastball, but Hosmer, it's almost like he knew exactly where he was going to come with his pitch and stayed so simple. Look at the little left, but he's keeping that leg under control. Look at the head position. You know, all that stuff, it lines up on a perfect swing like that.
A little bit outside, ball 1-2 Morales. Eric Hosmer still has the lead at first base. The American League All-Star voting. Keep voting, as you have been in record numbers, Royals fans. Although a story came out today in reaction to another story that Major League Baseball, and they say they closely monitor the voting, that there's nothing suspicious going on, that yes, Royals, a lot of votes coming from this region, but a lot of votes for Royals players coming from all over the country. Back goes Betts on a hard hit ball by Morales. Hosmer back to first, 1 down. Big crowd here tonight. It's Buck Night, and we'll have summer fireworks presented by Visit KC. And it returns again on Friday, July 3rd, as the Royals host the Minnesota Twins. For tickets, go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. And by the look of this crowd, if that sounds like an appealing date for you, you might want to take care of those tickets right now, because I'm looking around trying to find some empty seats here tonight, and it's tough. Also expect to have a lot of Minnesota fans, as they often do, make the trip down I-35. So they're ordering their tickets online.
You know, a lot of folks out there standing beyond the seats and in the outfield and in the corners. Any seat, any standing seat's a good view here. Except this time the sun's going down. It's in a few people's eyes, but sure is nice.
Alex Gordon has a 9-game hitting streak. Doesn't agree with that call. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Alex right at 279, 3 homers against lefties. Doing a nice job this year of taking what they give him, breaking balls away. He goes to left field. Ouch. Again.
And again means the 11th time he's been hit by a pitch. So Hosmer singles with the count 0-2. Gordon gets plunked with the count 1-2.
That changeup got away from him. Just underneath the knee, thankfully.
Royals are participating tonight in the home run challenge. Each Royals home run tonight is worth $12,500, and the home run challenge runs through Father's Day, and so far $1.35 million have been raised. Strike to Salvador Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox are excited about Rodriguez and his future, and his first 3 starts were outstanding. But last time out, he got knocked around by the Blue Jays. You wonder where his confidence level is at the moment. 9 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. Out at second base, double play. So the Royals test him with a couple of base runners, but he gets a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. Out sweet. Joel will be in there later tonight. That's always a lot of fun. Let's take a look at our Mazda game break for tonight. Alex Rodriguez, 2,999 hits, make it 3,000. And in the first inning, off of Justin Verlander, Alex Rodriguez becomes the 3rd player in Major League history to hit a home run for his 3,000th hit. Joining Wade Boggs, who did that for the Rays, and Rodriguez's former teammate Derek Jeter, who did it against the Rays.
Congratulations. Incredible feat. 3,000.
Hanley Ramirez into center field, and Lorenzo Cain back into the waning sunlight. Ramirez made the first out of the second inning, leading off the inning, and then the next 5 reached and all scored against Pino. And all of that started with Xander Bogaerts with a single to right center field. He scored the first of the 5 runs. Fastball over the outside for strike 1. Pino had pitched 10 2/3 innings in his career at Kauffman Stadium without allowing a single run until the Red Sox got 5 in the second inning. And you know the old saying about if you're going to get them early. Dave Holtzen was telling me that Johan Pino has never given up a run in the first inning.
Yeah, wow. You know what? He's a little bit out over the plate. His ball was not sinking and not moving. Straight as a string, and they capitalized on it. That's all that was.
That pitch was up a bit, but Cain makes a play in center field. Our Toyota League leaders for tonight. The Royals have the best record at home in the American League. The Red Sox have the 2nd worst road record in the American League. Ned Yost told us in the pregame show tonight that he had 2 specific goals when he took the Royals job as manager. He was already in the organization. Number one was to win a world championship. A strike to Sandoval, and the second goal was to see the Royals draw 3 million fans in a season. You don't normally hear that as a goal from a manager.
Didn't Mr. Kaufman want to find an owner that would keep the team in Kansas City? And then trying to figure out their personnel and how they were going to turn this team into a winner took them some time. And I'm so happy for this organization and the city to be able to be patient. And the fact that Ned, it wasn't easy for him either.
What a beautiful sight.
Yeah. And enjoy it while you can. Every day. Ooh, wow. That looked like I hit it off his thumbs.
It is hard to hit that ball where he hit that ball. Down and in and foul it back to the right.
Okay, how far was this off his hands? Ooh, man, that's close.
Similar swing.
Yeah, he's a guy who just keeps it simple. He sees it and he tries to hit it, and he's able to slow the ball down and slow the game down in pressure situations like in World Series. You mentioned his numbers. What a great hitter he is, and when everything's on the line, he slows it down. He keeps it simple, and he's just a natural swinger.
Salvador Perez wanted that pitch up, and Sandoval got on top of it, and he's 2 for 2.
He's a hacker. He doesn't need a pitch right down the middle. He's up there swinging. And that's middle and up, and he's able to stay on top of it.
And now Mike Napoli, he really got that inning going for the Red Sox in the second with 2 on and 1 out. He hit a 2-run single. 2 batters later, Blake Swihart hit a 2-run double, and then Mookie Betts had a 2-out RBI single. One ball, 1 strike. I mentioned it earlier that the Red Sox, if they want to look for one area to get them back on the right track, it would be their offense. They have hit .280 in June, second highest average in the American League. They got off to an awful start offensively for the first 2 months, and they have 5 runs, 7 hits tonight. Pino gets 3 fly balls to Lorenzo Cain. The Red Sox strand a runner. Boston leads 5-0 at the end of 2.5. Cancer Center doesn't let her battle against leukemia keep her from helping others. She is from Reed Springs, just outside of Liberty. And Sophia has supported a teacher with cancer, the Honor Flight Program for the World War II veterans, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. She was also named the Youth Volunteer of the Year for Missouri, which earned her $1,000 in prize money and a trip to Washington, D.C. So we wish her the best in her recovery, and there she is out helping others, sitting in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat at tonight's game.
Way to go, Sophie. You are honored sitting in that seat, but keep your battle. Thank you. Keep it going.
0-2 on Alex Rios. Rios had 5 hits in the Royals series with the Brewers. Trying to pitch him up. That pitch is up and in at 95. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thought about it, and it's 2-2.
Fastball changeup. You have those 2 pitches. That's really all you need. And he'll put a little 2-seam sink on some of his fastballs, but not many. Free and easy. His arm swing. Loose.
And he's had 2 strikeouts tonight with that pitch, a backdoor slider. He got Escobar in the first inning, and Rios not sure that was a strike. 1 down in the 3rd inning. One down to Omar Infante. Coincidence or not, as soon as Omar Infante was informed that he was leading the American League in all-star votes at second base, he has gone 8 for 15 since then with 2 doubles, 5 runs scored.
Well, he figured he better start making some adjustments. Then he gets to that game and shows some respectable numbers up there.
Our T-Mobile game changer. He's hit safely in the last 4, a .533 average. Down on strikes here. 2 down in the 3rd inning and 3 strikeouts for Rodriguez.
There it is. Same arm motion as a fastball, but when you hold the ball back with your 3 fingers like that, it takes some velocity off. That way it fools the hitters. Very good deceptive pitch. This young man so far is exactly like I read about him.
Yeah, it's only 2 2/3 innings, and yet you can see why the Red Sox are excited about this young guy. Two balls and no strikes on Escobar. He took a backdoor slider for strike 3 in the 1st inning. Escobar drove in 6 in the Milwaukee series and had 8 hits. Almost got him on the belt buckle.
You know, up in Boston, the fans are so radical and they're so passionate about their team, and they're freaking out. And you were talking about where they are before the game started. There's a walk. Rare one by Esky. The Red Sox are just 9 games out.
Yeah, but they're in last place. They got 4 teams they have to pass.
Yeah, but if you're a player on that team and your management, your coaches, you're not waving the white flag. You got to stay positive. You got to believe that you have a chance to get back in it this early in the season. That National League, or excuse me, that American League East is wide open.
Mike Moustakas takes outside. Rodriguez got him on a pop-up in the 1st inning. 22 years old, Eduardo Rodriguez. He was signed by the Orioles, and for the first few years of his professional career, he was just kind of a fringe prospect. Off the end of the bat and foul. He is from Valencia, Venezuela. That rings a bell. That's Salvador Perez's hometown. 3 years ago, he was the Orioles' 30th best prospect. Last year, he was their 3rd best prospect, and the Red Sox got him in a deal for Andrew Miller at the trading deadline. And Moustakas upset with himself. Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2.
Sometimes when you commit, it's really hard to slow them hands down. Check your swing. Swihart, the catcher, young guy, probably come back with the same pitch.
.96 down and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a pretty free and easy 96 too. Whenever you read, you know, you talk to people and they say he's got a loose arm, free and easy. That means that, you know, he doesn't look like he's forcing anything. And sometimes that frees your arm up and your body up to just really let it go.
Escobar takes off, and Moustakas puts it down into right center field. Mookie Betts wants it, and that's the inning. Tonight, before the game, we had our annual Big Slick Celebrity Softball Tournament, and there's Joel. He'll join us from their suite when we come back.
Takes a look at the big celebrity softball tournament. The regular crew in town, they brought some friends with them. And how about Jeff Montgomery on the hill? Big matchup going head to head with Selena Gomez. He tried to get her a hit, but she popped up. Looked good doing it, though. We are joined right now, as always, by some of our favorite Kansas Cityans. Eric Stonestreet, Paul Rudd, Rob Riggle, Jason Sudeikis is coming in here. Here, just pass that one on down, Paul, and we'll. There we go. We're all good. All right, I asked you guys earlier, but you guys come back to town, and you have the defending American League champions and first place Royals. How much praise have you had around the country, or how much of your friends congratulated you?
Well, I mean, everybody that knows I'm from Kansas City and a sports fan tells me that it's great, but you know, there's a little hatred out there for the Royals right now for no reason, in my opinion. But we're happy to be back like this. You know, it's we had, how many people would you say were in the ballpark for the softball game? You know, just to have people come out and visit us like that is amazing.
Yeah, it was a real thrill. It was the first year we've played on the field, and I think that, you know, for us, it was like we were 10 years old. That couldn't have been cooler.
I swung the bat like a 10-year-old, like me at 10. I was not impressed.
Felt like 10-year-olds in our playing ability.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Rob, who's got the best swing out here?
That's tough to say.
The answer is Sam. He went 2 for 2.
Missy Pyle was pretty good. Paul had some swings.
I had some swings. The problem is that the swings didn't connect with the ball.
I almost did a home run.
Almost.
You did almost.
Almost.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
One swing, one
I told Scott Ackerman, who caught that ball, I said, you really could have made a hometown boy look great by dropping the ball, but he didn't drop the ball.
It looked like a moonshot to me, Stoney.
Yeah.
That was a good hit.
Hey, we found out on the pregame show that you've got a nickname for him now.
Well, because he's such a Hrabosky fan.
Yeah.
He's the mad thespian. See? Look at that.
He's gone.
His wristband will fly off.
You don't follow me, camera guy. I walk out of frame.
Oh,
yeah. He'll really get upset. He's going to really get upset now.
Guys, I apologize. I just got a little upset there for a moment.
But he's hot and cold, just like Hrabosky. You just don't know what you're going to. Oh, there he goes again.
Oh, good.
There he goes again.
Over this way. Well done.
Yeah. See?
Ooh, foul ball.
Tell him once. He knows what's up.
We've seen some magic, Rob, in this dugout sweep before, beginning with Will Ferrell, Bruce Chen, and then more recently with Mike Moustakas reaching over to make that catch.
Yeah, this is where a lot of magic happens. There's no doubt about that. And I see some magic happening tonight, especially when it comes to Butterfield.
Come on, Butterfield.
Watch what you're doing, Butterfield.
Hey, Butterfield.
Can't drive 55.
So there's going to be a lot more business doled out to such people as third base coach, so-and-so Butterfield.
They love it. They love it.
I got to say, Butterfield is kind of like, I kind of consider him the Gene Lamont of the...
Joe Kelly, before the game, told us to pile on Butterfield. So we're going to give Butterfield some trouble tonight, like we did last year, the umpire.
That was the award we handed out tonight for whoever won the softball game, was the Gene Lamont Trophy.
That's right.
Gene Lamont has often been described by millions of people as the Darth Vader of baseball. Butterfield is the Boba Fett of the game.
Yep. That is a
Look
fair
at him
assessment.
just standing there. Somebody ought to go untuck his shirt. Rob?
Got him. Yeah!
Nice.
Yeah.
Rob,
Look at it.
go untuck Butterfield's shirt.
Anybody a Salvador Perez fan?
Yes.
Huge, massive. We love him.
How can you not be a Salvi?
Especially after a play like that when he just gunned him down at second.
Looked like me at catcher tonight.
Let's let Jason in on this here. I was talking about Salvador Perez. David Keckner's going to join us too.
You guys talking Sal Perez?
We are.
Yeah. What are you talking?
He just gunned him down at second.
What are you guys talking Perez wise?
Just
him gunning people down.
Some gunning.
Yeah.
That's some hot whistling.
That's another way they say it. Yeah.
That's a new baseball. It's a very
hot whistling.
Hot whistling. They also say, a lot of times they say that guy's got a hot whistle.
Yeah. I do.
Don't touch your lips to it.
Mainly in the construction world,
Look
but
at
still.
that throw. Look at that throw. Boom!
That is a hot whistle.
Actually, mainly in the baseball world, Rob.
We guys, we have a Red Sox challenge. Curious your deep thoughts about instant replay.
Instant replay?
Oh, this is a challenge?
It's a challenge. You're watching the challenge live.
Oh. No, he's safe.
He might be safe.
He's safe. He's definitely safe. His foot touched the
I mean,
bag.
it looked like his foot touched the bag.
Watch.
Yeah, but now he's off. Now he's off. He's off. He's off. He's off.
He's out.
Now he's off. Look at him down there. Oh.
Let's play baseball. Come on.
He's out.
I didn't come here to watch TV. Let's play baseball.
You know who doesn't like that? Butterfield.
Butterfield.
Come on,
Sorry, Butterfield.
He's out.
Hey,
He's out.
Butterfield.
Moustakis is looking over here. Look at Moustakis.
Moustaki, you wave to him. Look at wave to Moose.
Out.
Camera guy.
Salvi threw him he hot whistled him. Hot whistled the second he's out.
Moustakis is.
The umpire seems interested too. That's Dan Bellino.
Dan Bellino! Dan Bellino!
Dan Bellino! Now he's not looking. Now he turns his back.
We're all waiting around while someone's watching TV.
Umpires and third base coaches love you guys.
Yeah, they know coming into Kansas City on this weekend's dangerous.
You're pushing out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. You want to get to a team, get in the head of their third base coach.
We make them more present.
David, you announced that the celebrity softball game, right? You were the announcer.
Yes.
What kind of work went into that?
What kind of work went into
Preparation?
it? Well, I've been running my mouth for years, and it's finally paid off, really.
That works for Rex Hudler too.
Well, this works for him the best. Well, it's where you're going to get a lot of hot tips.
And you studied his tapes.
I studied his tapes. I studied at his table. I have sat at his table. That's a metaphor.
You ate at the table.
How do you say the guy's name at
that
third?
table.
You also went to that hot seminar where you just stressed the word
Swihart.
Swihart.
Bob.
I like Swart.
Bob, I've been at that seminar. I can't remember. I don't know how many times in a row. Bob.
It's taking a long time, Paul Rudd, and I think that maybe every time we have a long instant replay, we should just bring you guys in because it's much more entertaining.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder. I think they might be. The jury's out on
I
that.
think my dad just clicked off the TV.
They're probably flipping over to Shark Tank right about now.
And Rob Riggle is just eating a cookie.
Look, I waited as long as I could, but then I was like, I gotta eat. I gotta eat.
Yeah, I've got peanuts.
All the mentions of Butterfield.
Butterfield!
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 Butterfield. Hey, Butterfield!
So let's ask you guys about the World Series experience. Paul, we saw you here loving every single minute of it. What was it like? And was there really going to be this huge party?
You know, I felt as if I was a little on the hook for the kegger. I don't know if there would have been a huge party, but I don't think anyone would have stopped by.
I'm pretty sure everybody wanted to stop by.
3 people stopped by. 3 people did stop by that I didn't know, and I wasn't there.
You loved every moment, though, did you not? We saw you all the time.
I was so excited. That postseason was, I couldn't have been more into it. I got just knocked out by it. It's incredible.
Rob, what do you think here? You just look like you're pondering.
Well, I'm studying Butterfield. I think I figured out the signals, so I'm trying to help the Royals.
Hey, let's speed things up here and say hi to Selena Gomez.
Well, hello, Kansas. How are ya?
It's Selena Gomez.
Hi, guys. How are ya?
Hello.
How was that hitting experience today?
I have to say I may be better at other things than baseball, but I support it, and I support the Big Slick and Paul and Kansas City.
The challenge is over.
He's out.
He's gone. Sit down.
He's gone.
Sit down. He's gone.
Okay, high five.
Hey,
High five.
4
I thought
minutes.
she rocked it out there.
She did.
Oh,
On base twice.
Told you.
Eric Stonestreet right now is trying to make sure that Mike Moustakis knows that you told him he was out.
No, not Moustakis, the umpire.
What's his name?
Bellino.
Bellino! Look at him, how serious he is.
He gave the thumbs up.
I don't think he's getting it. I think he's nervous now. He's young.
Anyway,
Is there an age limit? Is there a cutoff to being an umpire? Is it like a president? You have to be a certain age.
I don't know that there's an age limit. The call, by the way, was confirmed, just so we can make that official.
Yeah.
It was confirmed.
Confirmed that he was out.
Yeah. No, you can't escape. There's no way you're staying on base with a hot whistle like that just a second. You're out.
Here's Butterfield. He's gotten closer.
So we were talking to Selena, though. She came out on the field today and said what to you, Paul?
She said, she's like, I'm so excited to play sport. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. John, I'm so excited to play. So excited to be here. can I practice with the glove?
There you go. First for everything. Say goodbye to Butterfield, guys. We got to go. Thanks for being here.
Bye, Kansas City. Hit the road, Butterfield.
Love you.
Is brought to you by Panera Bread. Avoid the lines. Order online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Thoroughbred Ford. For great deals on new Ford cars and trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com. Joel hangs out in the big slick dugout suite.
Wow.
Now, how much fun would that be?
Yeah.
To spend an evening with those guys and gals.
I liked it. They were pretty hard on my buddy Butterfield, though, weren't they?
Yeah.
That's okay. Anybody close to him out there on that field, they're in trouble. Something tells me that they would really like to get on Sandoval over there, the third baseman.
Well, especially the Kansas City portion of that gang, since Sandoval is the one who caught the final out of the World Series.
Yep.
And right to Sandoval. Lorenzo Cain is out. He is 0 for 2. Red Sox got all 5 runs in the second inning. So Eduardo Rodriguez is pitching with a big lead. Parents, help your child win the opportunity of a lifetime by entering them into our Kids Run the Show contest presented by Skippy for the game on Sunday, July 26th against the Astros. Your child could spend the entire afternoon assisting with select game day positions such as team photographer, K-crew member, TV broadcaster, in-stadium host, and more. The deadline to apply is July 1st, so fill out your application now at Royals.com/kids run the show. Feel better if those little guys were behind a net.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I'm looking forward to seeing him come on up here, getting those opportunities to do different jobs. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Eric Hosmer down 0-2 in the second inning, stroked a single to left, and now Rodriguez trying to tie him up, and he is rung up by Dan Bellino, and that's 4 strikeouts for Eduardo Rodriguez in 3 2/3 innings.
Yep. Surprised him with that hard moving fastball in. Good stuff. Better off just looking fastball from Eduardo Rodriguez. Look firm, until you get 2 strikes. Then he's going to go with his changeup, and then try not to even swing at his slider. He doesn't throw very many of them.
Kendrys Morales lined to center in the 2nd inning, and now he lines it to right center field. 1 hop to De Aza. 2 good swings for Morales against Rodriguez, and he's on with 2 down.
He likes that one a little better because it landed on that Trevor turf for a hit. The other one was hit well, but man, they caught it.
Royals had something going in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Red Sox had scored 5 in the top of the 2nd. Hosmer singled with the count 0-2. Alex Gordon was hit with the count 1-2, which led to Rodriguez's biggest pitch of the night. He was able to get Salvador Perez to ground into a double play. To Sandoval, down to a knee to play a 1 hop, and then guns it over to first to end the inning. Still 5-0 Red Sox at the end of 4.
Emphatic strikeout call. He's really become known for that. Guys, I went down there today and asked him about it. I said, how did that come about? I didn't know if there'd be a great story or not. And he said that he was one of the many umpires that lost his job back in 1999. He was given a chance to get back into the game and had to work his way back up through the minors. So in 2003 and 2004, he gets back in. He's umpiring in A-ball. And he started working on that. He said he did it just to kind of keep his head in the game, set himself straight a little bit. And in A-ball, New York Penn League, South Atlantic League, said you're behind the plate every other night. So he got a lot of practice at this and thought, maybe it'd be a way to do something unique. Never thought one day he'd be a crew chief. Didn't know if he'd make it back to the big leagues, but he was trying. And he said he had no idea it would turn out to be what he is known for. But he was just trying to keep himself sharp, have a little fun in the minor leagues. Worked on that call over 10 years ago, and now it's his signature.
He was a National League umpire from 1986 to 1999, and you remember 1999, Hud, when there's a base hit to left field for Mookie Betts. He is 3 for 3 tonight. Richie Phillips was that their union chief, the umpires union chief, who came up with the brilliant idea for the umpires to resign, to which Major League Baseball said, okay.
Right.
And there were a lot of umpires who took that advice and lost their jobs, and many of them never got back to the big leagues again.
I admire Tom Hallion and some of those guys that hung in there, and he went down like a player would and worked on a certain element of his game, and for him it was a strike call. I love that. And I love the enthusiasm anyway. That's now if you're a hitter and he rings you up, oh well, you may not like that sound, but at least he's a proven 22-year major league veteran umpire.
Two 2-0 on David Ortiz. He is grounded to Hosmer twice, and one of those ground balls resulted in a double play. Now he's grounded to Hosmer 3 times, and twice he is grounded into a double play. Hud, that is a 3-6 reverse double play. Look it up.
Yep, check it out. Hosmer, quick with his feet, accurate with his throw. Nice tag.
Hanley Ramirez out to deep center field, and Lorenzo Cain watches it land in a fan's glove instead of his. And the Boston Red Sox have scored 6 in the first 5 innings against Johan Pino. That's number 14 for Hanley Ramirez.
Ramirez has extreme power. Slider didn't break a lot, stayed out over the plate. See how he does his little fling, go leg kick, and really jumps out there on that leg kick. Got extended, quick hands.
Big hop to Mike Moustakas, and that's the inning. To the bottom of the 5th, the Boston Red Sox lead Game 1 with the Royals 6-0. And the bottom of the 5th inning, Ryan Lefebvre with Rex Hudler, and could be worse. You could have been Mustard tonight in the hot dog race.
Boy, if I'm Mustard, they're carrying me off. I can tell you that. That was a terrible spill Mustard had, but I bet he comes back again. He's got some game in it.
He was able, or she was able, to walk off the field with a little bit of assistance. Salvador Perez grounds out to second. Watch out for the railing. Oh!
Look at the spin.
Oh my God! Ribs, knees. Oh, head. Man.
Wow. Gonna take a little while to shake that one off.
Right.
I mean,
now when the doctor comes and says, "Are you okay? What's your name?" Now, is the right answer, you know, Joe Smith, or is the right answer Mustard?
I think so, but you know, that's what he gets for hot dogging.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
But looking at the size of the feet, I mean, look obviously to me like he was a male, because they're, you know, big
he
feet.
was a male?
That he was a male.
Okay. Rios struck out in the third inning against Eduardo Rodriguez. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was ugly. Little 360 on the spin.
Yeah, we've seen a few people tumble forward as they don't, you know, don't judge the weight of the suit, but to go ramming into the railing like that, man.
Thankfully it was padded, but I think they warned all the people who I think they're trying to fix it. That was a crash. Yeah, he never saw it.
Bogarts throws out Rios. Rodriguez is having a very good night at the plate. 2 down. Ned Yost tried to deflect the praise as much as possible last night and today. Our Honda Most Trusted player, brought to you by the Most Trusted brand, hired to replace Trey Hillman in May of 2010. And the turnaround for the Royals began during the All-Star break in 2013. The Royals had the 4th worst record in the American League. Infante hits it to the gap. So he has another hit, his first tonight. And now Infante is 9 for his last 17. And he's at second base with 2 outs. The Royals, getting back to 2013, Hood, the Royals finished in Cleveland and they were swept by the Cleveland Indians. And I remember the players went into the clubhouse and they were expecting to get chewed out, because I mean, it looked like their season was over as far as a chance to make it to the playoffs, maybe even have a winning season. And Ned Yost went in there, he was positive. Oh, and by the way, Greg Holland just made the All-Star game because somebody had decided not to go to the All-Star game, and many players will take you back to that moment, and that Ned just encouraged them, get some rest, get ready to play in the second half, because we're going to turn this thing around. And that's exactly what happened.
That's the kind of leadership that you look for out of your field general. He's worked hard, a lot of ups and downs, and most of us out here don't really know what goes on in that clubhouse and behind closed doors. But what's coming out now with some of the success, now he hasn't had the success that he wants to have. He wants the championship, the World Series title, but his humility has impressed me. I'm impressed how he's told everybody how much more he trusts his his coaches, his pitching coach, his Wakamatsu and Swaim, and how he asked for their advice when before he did it all himself. And it's hard for a manager to delegate authority when it's your team and you're getting accused for winning and losing and everything falls on your lap. But he's learning, he's getting better, he's improving in baseball as a manager, and he's really been able to share that.
By the way, the Royals have the best record in the American League since the All-Star break in 2013. If you wonder if in fact that was the turning point, well, there are the numbers to prove it. Up the right field line, fair, and the Royals are on the board. So Infante, who is now 9 for his last 17, scores on a base hit from Escobar, who is now 9 for his last 20.
some more 2-out magic coming. Back-to-back doubles, trading places. Good stroke. Up and away. We've seen Escobar really use that right field in his little streak he's on. And that's the key. Seeing the ball longer, and you're taking it where it should be taken. If you try to do anything else with it, you pop it up or you hit a little ground ball. So, and he's kept his hands inside so well.
Cutting fastball is in for a strike. 12 doubles for Alcides Escobar, 25 RBIs. The Royals have a pair of 2-out doubles. That stayed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Moustakas has popped out to short and flied out to center field. Good pitch. 1-2.
Moustakas' average with runners in scoring position has been gradually coming up. They've asked him to be a table setter, hitting that second spot all year. So he's been doing that. Scored 36 runs for the team.
Hit hard, but right to the second baseman Holt, and that's the inning. So Rodriguez limits the damage to 1. Infante and Escobar remain hot, and now it's a 5-run game. Packed house at Kauffman Stadium on a beautiful Friday night, and we expect the same tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon before the Royals hit the road for another long trip. They will play 9 games over 10 days, going to Seattle, Oakland, and Houston. And the Royals are home for a while. Royals are in the middle of a stretch right now of 17 out of 22 games on the road. Pablo Sandoval is 2 for 2. We talked about his excellent numbers in the World Series. In 2012, he was the World Series MVP. Out for the first time tonight as Alex makes a play in left field. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com. You'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Good candidate right there. Alcides Escobar, the leading vote getter at shortstop in the American League.
Keep that pedal to the metal, folks, when it comes to voting.
Napoli gets it past Alex Gordon. He had a 2-run single back in the Red Sox 5-run second, and he's on here with a 1-out double. And that'll be it for Johan Pino. So Pino, as a reliever for the Royals, pitched 14 innings and gave up just 2 runs. But as a starter tonight, he goes 5 1/3 and gives up 6 runs. Brandon Finnegan is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Shows us the players to watch. Remember to go to DraftKings.com, enter the promo code BRoyal to play free fantasy baseball daily. Lorenzo Cain was on that list, and why not? With 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in the just completed Royals Brewers series. Lorenzo so far tonight has lined to first and grounded to third, and here's Brandon Finnegan with Napoli at second base and 1 out.
Finnegan's done a nice job this season so far. 10 2/3. Opponent's average, they're not hitting a whole bunch off him. 0.97. Good hard fastball, low to mid 90s, slider, occasional changeups to righties.
Alejandro De Aza takes ball 1. Hosmer backs up, and Finnegan doesn't cover first.
Well, Finnegan became a spectator like many of the folks here at the K. Just kind of watched Hosmer make the play, and by the time it dawned on him that there was nobody at first, it was too late. That's where, you know, most catchers, and I'm sure Salvi probably mentioned to him, get over. Left-handed hitter comes up, they always yell, get over. Now, look, he starts that way, but I guess he thought Hos was going to catch that on the run and come take it himself. But see, he initially started breaking, and then he just kind of shut it down.
Blake Swihart is a switch hitter, so he moves over to the right side. So instead of a runner at third and 2 down, it's first and third with 1 out. And Swihart has a left-hand batter against Pino, hit a 2-run double in the Red Sox 5-run second, and he singled in the 4th.
If I had to do it over again, Rhino, I think I'd want to be a switch hitting catcher like this guy here. No, switch hitting catchers, you don't see many of those. And the minute the scout hears that, you're automatically a prospect. This young man here, he's pretty impressive. He's the #1 pick.
That's what the Royals needed. That's what Finnegan needed. And the Red Sox are scoreless in the 6th inning. Next slam inning contestant with Lorenzo Cain leading off is Michael Briner from Butler, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Michael wins $1,900. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Michael wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Udler, Jeff Montgomery, fresh off his pitching performance in the Big Slick Celebrity Softball game. That must have been a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I just finished icing down.
Now, Selena Gomez hit a foul ball to the third base dugout against you, but she got to reach first.
Well,
how'd you feel about that?
Special exception.
I was upset for you.
I was fine with it. You know, she's so talented. She deserved it.
Money, I was telling our fans that that's probably the first time you ever went out there on this field out there without that competitive edge going, I'm going to get you. And you tried to lay some cookies in there for him, didn't you?
I went in there. My job was to hit bats.
There you go.
I felt like I did a pretty good job of it.
Anyway.
Deep short. Going to be a tough play. Great play. Xander Bogaerts with a jump throw from very deep short to get Lorenzo Cain.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Rodriguez, and when I first saw him, it reminded me of Chris Sale. I like the way he's, just a guy who gets a ball. He doesn't waste a lot of time between pitches, goes right at his business, and got that long body. His arm slots down the little side like Chris Sale's was. So he reminded me a lot of Sale. First pitch I see him throw.
Good comparison. Yeah, Hud and I were talking in the early innings that if you're a left-hand batter like Eric Hosmer, man, you gotta You got to be brave to keep that front shoulder in there.
Rodriguez really one of the very few bright spots on this Boston Red Sox team this year.
Boston Red Sox are last in the American League in team ERA, and that's mostly because of their starters. There's Bogarts again, and he throws out Hosmer. That's 1-6-3 for the out, as Rodriguez got a little bit of it. Our sprint cuts of the game, and the Royals have 4 hits in 5 2/3 innings against Rodriguez.
Yeah, and Rodriguez really nothing cute out there, nothing really too particular, nothing too fine. He just got really good stuff and challenges hitters, and really kind of see what you're going to get from this guy right off the get-go. He doesn't change a lot, doesn't have a whole lot of variety to his pitches, but just again very good stuff, and he's locating it very well tonight.
Doesn't need it. 2 pitches with that kind of electric fastball he's bringing. Man, it's that changeup and a couple occasional sliders he mixes in. Very nice young talent we're seeing.
And the Royals, down 6-1, have really only had a couple of chances against him tonight. We had the back-to-back 2-out doubles in the 5th inning, which scored the Royals run. Royals had 2 on 1 out in the 2nd inning. They had an opportunity there, and Rodriguez was able to get a ground ball double play to get out of the inning. But other than that, he's been in control. Works fast. I'm sure his defense appreciates that. Only 1 20-pitch inning.
Yeah, very efficient, just pitching to contact. Really good location.
That is his 5th strikeout, and he's allowed 1 run in the first 6 innings against a hot offensive team. Discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover events by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Tough night for Royals fans tonight. Boston Red Sox had a 5-run 2nd inning. And the Royals are finding out why Boston is so excited about 22-year-old left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez. Brandon Finnegan begins the 7th inning. He got the last 2 outs of the 6th for Johan Pino. He's had a tough time getting the ball down tonight, Monty Pino.
Yeah, it seemed like everything was about mid-thigh, and he made a few good pitches, but even the good pitches he made and were in good location, the bats had heated up to the point where he couldn't get anybody out. They just seemed to find holes regardless, and that's one of the things about pitching up in the strike zone. You get the offense going, get the confidence going on that side. It's tough to stop even when you do start to make some good pitches.
Brock Holt is 0 for 3. And now he's on with a 4-pitch walk. Leadoff man on against Brandon Finnegan. Chris Medlin had his first rehab start tonight with Double-A Northwest Arkansas. He allowed 1 earned run in 4 innings, no walks, 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, that no walks, that's very impressive. I think the fact that a guy coming back making his first start in several months, live action, to be able to go 4+ innings without walking anybody, that's a nice sign. Had the strikeouts going, and Chris Medlin's a guy that I would say is going to be a nice boost for this rotation during the second half.
Oh, a real nice boost. At 92, maybe 93, and that super changeup he's got. Mixes in a little breaking ball. All the experience, confidence he's gaining now doing his rehab. He'll be a big shot in the arm.
If you think about the Royals rotation, 60% of it is on the disabled list that started the season on the 5 guy in the rotation. 3 of those guys are on the disabled list, and the team is still sporting the best record in the American League.
That's because a lot has to do with the depth, no question about it.
Past Moustakas and into left field. Mookie Betts is 4 for 4. And here come the Red Sox with the Royals running out of time, and they have 2 on, nobody out with a 5-run lead in the 7th inning.
A lot of that too, money, is just the core of players. They're going to pick each other up. There's been a lot of guys being, that's part of a combination of a championship winning team, is that you have that swagger, and guys that come in, they're like, wow, you know what, I have to step up my game here. And this is the Royals, and the other guys are picking each other up. That's what the game's all about. Somebody falls out, next guy in. Hey, look, it's your opportunity. Let's go.
Well, in comparison to last year's team, which was really built around a strong rotation that went out there every 5 days, made their starts. This year, the offense has had to do their part. We know they went through the spell for about 3 weeks, but now they're back on track. Good to see.
Ball 1 to David Ortiz. Chris Medlin, we were talking about his appearance at Northwest Arkansas. Between 2010 and 2012, he went 23 consecutive starts without a loss. It's a heck of a run.
Means he's holding the opponents down, but also his teammates responded to him and gave him enough runs. That's quite a run. He's a winner.
And I wrote this down years ago when Chris Medlin got to the big leagues, was trying to learn about him, and the Royals played the Braves in interleague play. And one thing I wrote down is that Chris Medlin was compared to Jeff Montgomery.
Wow. Monty, where do you go, bud?
He's not a real big guy. He doesn't overpower, but he's got 3 quality pitches that he can throw for strikes.
Good mound presence.
Strike called to Ortiz. 2 balls, 2 strikes. David Ortiz is 0 for 3. That drops his batting average down to 228, but twice he's hit the ball right on the nose, but right to Eric Hosmer. outside. Salvador Perez tried to pull it back into the strike zone. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hit hard again and right to Kane, and that's the way it goes when you're hitting 228. That is out number 1.
It can be a frustrating game, and Big Papi knows all about that in his 17th season as a big league hitter. DH, first baseman. Been through it before. He's 39 years young too, Monty.
Carries himself very well. He has fun playing this game. I don't think he would still be playing at 39 if he didn't.
You're right.
So 2 on, 1 out to Hanley Ramirez. He homered his last time up to left center field. It was his 14th home run of the year. Red Sox turned Hanley Ramirez into a left fielder this year. Runners go. No throw.
Holt got a tremendous jump off of Finnegan.
No doubt about it. This base is stolen off of Brandon Finnegan, not Salvador Perez.
And now the Royals are forced to bring the infield in as they're running out of innings and already down by 5. Fastball makes it 1-1.
Saw Finnegan not cover first base in the last inning, and here we see him not hold the runner on second, allowing him to go to third. Those are some of the little things that younger players have to do in order to really solidify themselves as major league players, and that's why a lot of times guys spend more than more time than a lot of people think they need in the minor leagues, just these finishing touches.
Hit hard to left field. The Red Sox get 1 run, and that's all, as Alex made a very difficult throw and a strong one back to the infield. Ramirez has driven in his 2nd of the game, and Boston has its 2nd 6-run lead of the night. That ball was smoked.
Sure was. Anything elevated. This guy's a big-time professional hitter. You could DH him. He can rake.
Putting the flaps down on a line drive to left field.
Yeah, that's a little unusual.
Looks a little bit like Manny Ramirez at the plate, doesn't he, with that leg kick?
He sure does. Maybe the dreads have something to do with it.
.35 RBIs for Hanley Ramirez. Maybe he felt like he hit that ball so hard that it was going to carry all the way out to Gordon.
And look at his feet. He starts almost standing right next to each other. They got big, long carry. You'd think his head would move a lot, but he doesn't. He's able to. And look at that, a routine single. And that's what he was thinking. He was thinking that was right at Alex, but it had too much downward spin on the ball. Funny, that's some good observation about Finnegan. You know, kind of becoming a spectator, going to first, and not thinking too much about the base runners, and just the fact that he hasn't spent a full year in professional baseball yet.
Well, in a 5 or 6 run game, it's ultimately not going to make a lot of difference in the outcome, but it should be a learning experience for him. For example, with the runners double stealing on him and being on second or third, you got to bring the infield in. Now, a ball through the infield, which could have potentially been an out, it's going to turn into a run or two, and in a close game, that makes a big difference. So you just have to find ways to. And the running game is one of the last things that major league pitchers have the chance to work on, because there's so much emphasis on getting guys out and working on new pitches. Sometimes you get away from those smaller, those more refined parts of being a complete pitcher.
Stockus realizing there's only one out. He goes to the plate, and Salvador Perez tags out Mookie Betts. 2 down.
Moose did a great job coming in. That's kind of like a little no-look stab, just kind of hoping it lands in there, and he took his momentum from the play and just went ahead and got the out ahead of him. You're not going to double up Betts, or excuse me, that was Bogarts. Runs really well. Good decision.
And now Sandoval is going to bat left-handed against Brandon Finnegan. As a left-hand batter, he has 2 out of 3 tonight with a double and a run scored. And when you see what he has batted this year right-handed, this will make sense. Inside ball 1. He's hitting about .325 left-handed, and he is 2 for 41 right-handed.
And if you ask him that question why, he'll probably tell you, I'm just not seeing the ball well from the right side.
Got the call over the outside. I'd say that's a big adjustment, though. I mean, if you've been a switch hitter for a long time, it's like, you know, my left-handed swing feels better. I want to stay there. But I mean, that's a completely different look. I mean, all the breaking balls are breaking away from you now instead of breaking into you.
His hitting coach, Chili Davis, switch hitter, probably just encouraged him to stay on that left side.
There's Jeff Montgomery's teammate for 1 season.
Quite a teammate.
I agree, Monty. I was fortunate enough to have him for 3. Learned a lot about him.
Chili Davis was here in 1997. He had a big year for the Royals. Born in Jamaica, Chili Davis. A 3-time world champion as a player. He had a 30 home run season for the Royals. Sandoval strikes out. The Red Sox get another run. Thank you, Monty. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. Boston leads 7-1.
Let's bring the comedians out to the field, led by Paul Rudd in the middle there, David Keckner, Eric Stonestreet.
Root for the whole and play your way. It's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out at the old.
All right, so we got a little bit of singing talent there, some better than others, but good again to have all those guys in town. And I thought really fun to have so many people here so early today, guys.
It's grown so big that it was played here on the big league field, as opposed to the Little K, where it was a wiffle ball game. Nice gathering beforehand, and more Hollywood celebrities being recruited by our Kansas City representatives in Hollywood. Eduardo Rodriguez has given up 1 run, 4 hits in 6 innings, and been pitching with a big lead all night. Still throwing in the mid-90s. He is at 95 pitches. There's nobody warming up behind him in the Red Sox bullpen, but a few guys are off the bench and starting to loosen up, stretch their legs, stretch their arms.
Yeah, he's just been pounding that fastball in on both lefties and righties, and then finishing guys off with his changeup. That fastball at that velocity, you know, it looks hittable. There's one. It's out over the middle of the plate.
That gives Alex Gordon a 10-game hitting streak. Fox Sports Midwest and the Royals invite University of Missouri fans to come to Kauffman Stadium July 24th as the Royals host the Astros. Buy a ticket through Royals.com/Mizzou and then get to the game early to get a Mizzou-themed Royals cap. Mizzou Day at the K, July 24th. Rusney Castillo is now in right field. Fouled back by Salvador Perez. Alejandro De Aza has shifted from right field over to left field, so Hanley Ramirez is out of the game. Tied him up. 1 out. In a 7-1 game, it seems a little strange to say that Rodriguez's biggest out in the game was way back in the 2nd inning. But the Royals, during this run, and when the Royals are really on top of their game, they almost always seem to answer their opponent. And Boston got 5 in the 2nd inning, and the Royals got a couple of runners on with 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd. Eric Hosmer singled with the count, no balls, 2 strikes. With 1 out, Alex Gordon was hit by a 1-2 pitch, so that might have been a good inning for Rodriguez to come unraveled and the Royals to jump all over him, but he got Sal to ground into a double play, which ended the inning. And the Royals have had very few threats against him. But I think this is one of those nights where you don't criticize the hitter, you praise the pitcher.
No question about it. This young man, you know, before this game, I was looking at him, checking out his stats, and reading a little bit about this young man, and I'm thinking, "Whoa, man, this guy's going to be tough for a hot-hitting Royals team, even as hot as they've been. They're going to have their hands full." And you mentioned it, that 1 inning there in the 2nd, Sowie hit to the second baseman and rolled him up. That was all she wrote.
Brock Holt runs a long way to get there and doesn't make the play.
But, you know, they keep taxing his pitch count, get him out of there. You never know what can happen. The Royals, they can score a lot of runs and they frenzy hit. So this is not over. Now that would have helped, but that's going to extend his pitch count.
Don't forget, Royals fans, the next time you're looking for great seats, go to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right. On StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. Every ticket, every day. Now, we showed you that Rodriguez got lit up in his last start, but let's run through his first 3 major league starts. 7 2/3 innings, no runs. 7 innings, 1 run. 6 innings, no runs. Over Brock Holt and out into right center field. Gordon goes to second. Alex Rios has his first hit. So Eduardo Rodriguez became the first pitcher in Major League history to go at least 6 innings, allow no more than 3 hits, and no more than 1 run in his first 3 Major League starts.
Pretty impressive. And you come up here and you're a young pitcher and you're facing big league hitters who have been here for a while, and you do that, you're going to get some accolades early, and they're happy to see him leave.
Alexi Ogando is a Red Sox Chevy call to the bullpen. Sports Service. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand in HD with highlights, live look-ins, and pitch tracking every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. And that is a portion of 38,190. It's the Royals' 10th sellout of the season. They have been mostly quiet tonight thanks to the pitching of Eduardo Rodriguez. So the Royals are into the Red Sox bullpen. And that pitch crossed up Swihart. This is Alexi Ogando, and he inherits Gordon at second base and Rios at first.
Ogando's got a big power fastball, mid to upper 90s, slider, and a split finger.
Two balls, no strikes. Infante has continued his offensive surge with a double and a run scored tonight. He is 9 for his last 17.
Get hot like that, it's picking that average up. He's over 230.
Now he's got a Mike Moustakas bat. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, and you know what? During this streak where he's hot, he's not using the same bat. He's using different players all the time. It's unusual. Usually, a guy's gets a few hits, he's gonna stay with the same bat that's been working for him.
Hard hit. Holt fumbles. That could have been an inning-ending double play. Red Sox get one out. Gordon goes to third. And Rios moves up to second base, putting two in scoring position for Alcides Escobar. And Escobar has driven in a run tonight with a fifth-inning double. That's the Royals' only run. And Escobar has 9 hits in his last 20 at-bats. He has 7 RBIs, Escobar does, in his last 5 games. A chance to drive in a couple more right here. Fastball with some late life at 96 from Ogando.
It's not bad for a guy who spent 4 years in the Oakland A's organization as an outfielder. Ogando, they found his niche, didn't they? His role. Good arm.
1 ball, 1 strike. That'll be in the crowd. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wanted the pitch up, and he got it in on his hands. Sandoval in a similar spot where the World Series ended. So Ogando inherits 2 runners, strands them both, and at the end of 7, Boston still leads 7-1.
Over Detroit. Tampa playing great baseball. Texas leading late. Chris Sale was very good again. And Minnesota all over the Cubs. Coming up on Boulevard Royals Live, we'll break down this one here from Ned Yost, Jeff Montgomery analysis, maybe even an update on Mustard's condition. We'll see. Drew Butera is in the game along with Christian Colon at shortstop. Guys, one other point I wanted to make about that Yankees Tigers game, and all the attention, I guess, will be on A-Rod's 3,000th, but it shouldn't be lost in the discussion that Justin Verlander, I think just his second start back, and of the year. 6 2/3, 10 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 homers, and only 2 strikeouts.
Which is a far cry from his first start. First start, he looked very much like the Justin Verlander of old. Velocity was back, not back to where he was when he was most valuable player in the American League, but looked like he was on his way.
Speaking of Verlander, Fizz and I called Mike Napoli's first career home run in 2006 off of Verlander in Detroit.
First at bat, right?
First.
Wasn't he one of the guys in the first major league at bat?
You know, I don't know. I don't think it was his first at bat, but it was his first big league homer, and he was on all of his pitches, and he's a really good off-speed hitter. Goes to the opposite field well, and he was locked in on him, and that's when Verlander was young and strong and at his best. Could have been his first AB, Rhino. I can't remember.
Yeah, it kind of rang a bell. Let me look it up. Let's see here.
All in a night's work. 6 earnings. Hang with them. Tough business.
Yep, first major league at bat. 3rd Angels player to do that in his first major league at bat.
Wow, way to pick me up there. Pretty special.
Where do you go from there? Well, let's see. Mike Napoli.
He's in his 9th year, I believe.
Was signed in 2000, so he spends parts of 7 seasons in the minor leagues dreaming of getting to the big leagues, and I'm sure the dream preceded being drafted. Then you get to the big leagues, and your first at bat you hit a home run. Hey Hud, how about Justin Verlander? Does he get a sympathy card?
Absolutely not.
No.
Nope. No sympathy is heading his way towards any players, from any players or anybody at this level.
For many reasons.
Yeah, at this level.
Eduardo Rodriguez. Eduardo Rodriguez has now made 5 major league starts. In 4 of his first 5 major league starts, he's gone at least 6 innings and allowed 1 earned run or less.
Man, you'll watch for this kid. Man, that's impressive. Obviously no nerves or any jitters or anything like that. He's come right up, and he's a polished big league pitcher, a lefty with some fuzz and hair on that fastball he's got. Man, good electric life.
Blocked by Butera. Now the good news is, as far as the numbers go, he's the best the Red Sox have. Tomorrow the Royals will face a pitcher with an ERA over 5, and on Sunday they'll face a pitcher with an ERA just under 5. Two and 2 on De Asa. Is that Justin Masterson?
Looks like him.
Who's on the disabled list right now for the Red Sox. Going to have to hurry. And Colon trying to hurry. Had the ball pop out of his glove. And the Royals do not get 1 out. It's an error on Colon, and the Red Sox have 2 on with nobody out.
First man, sure. You want to make sure that you catch it first and then get it over there. Second man can be quick, but whenever you try to mix that and get that in the wrong order, sometimes that happens.
It looked like, even though it was from a distance there, Hud, looked like the head just started to turn to the left right before the ball hit the glove.
Starting to be a little too quick. He knew it, just like you call it. He knew he had to be quick, but can't get 2 unless you can get 1. He knows that.
Boston's biggest inning tonight was a 5-run second inning against Pino, and Blake Swihart at the plate now drove in 2 and scored a run in that inning. One ball and 1 strike. Swihart was the Red Sox first-round pick in 2011 and was considered their best prospect going into this year. Was called up in May, which was a lot sooner than expected, but Red Sox were sinking in the East. Their other catchers weren't getting the job done, and so they decided to bring him up.
Why not? He's really a solid athletic catcher. Very good flexibility, quick feet. Has some speed. We saw him attempt to steal. They replayed it. They called him out, but he looked like he was close to being in there. Switch hitting catcher. He's got a little more pull power from the left side of the plate. His right side is more his natural side.
He has already grounded into 1 double play. Hosmer pulls it out of the dirt, so make it 2. Napoli goes to third.
And I'm sure Christian Colon might have said to Finnegan, hey, bring it to me again. Let me try that over. So he did what he wanted to do. Catch it, get it over there, and let Infante be quick with the turn. Haas with a nice pick. Smooth.
And that brings up Brock Holt. You were saying that Brock Holt was your type of guy, Royals type of a player. He hit for the cycle on Monday. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. I mean,
he got a triple in his last at bat.
Amazing. They were all lined up for this young man. Love how he plays the game. Gritty, down and dirty, hustles, and can play anywhere on the field. Now, pitcher and catcher, he probably could do that as well. Those are the 2 toughest spots out there for a position player like him, an athlete. So he's excited when he comes to the ballpark every day, I'm sure, just to play. But then when he goes up there and checks out his name on the lineup card, he's probably going, where am I playing today? And that's a little extra excitement for a guy like him that plays all those spots.
It's kind of like Little League, you know. I mean, the younger you are, it's exciting to try a new position. And of course, over time, you become more refined in one position, maybe a couple of positions. Delayed call, and Finnegan strikes out Holt to end the top of the 8th inning. Not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation.
Pretty nice form on that hit. She made contact, and after contact, her hands rolled over. She's running the bases here at the K. Thought I would just break that down for you.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
This is Robbie Ross Jr. with Moustakas, Kane, and Hosmer in the bottom of the 8th.
It's going to sink his fastball 88-94. Curve and a change. Finding a little bit of the plate. 303 average against.
Two and two on Moustakas. Royals have seen Robbie Ross Jr. when he pitched for the Rangers for parts of 3 years. Still 2 and 2.
It was right on Moose's hands. He had to check his bat 2 or 3 times to make sure he didn't crack it.
Holt fields, throws in time. Paul Rudd. Rex Hudler, your thoughts?
Okay, he's got something sticking out of his mouth. Is that a sucker? What is that? Oh, it's a microphone. Okay, Paul Rudd. Well, you know, not bad. Pretty good balance there. Although the ball is way back here. He wants to get contact out here and shoot it that way over the wall. Ball, but it's not too bad though. You topped it, you rolled okay, but I guess that was the microphone. Was that what that was? Sticking out of his mouth there.
Yeah, the wire behind the back of his head was a dead giveaway.
I wasn't sure what that was.
All right, let's talk base running, Hud.
Well, she's slowing down way too soon, and make sure you touch the plate. She was all around the plate. There it was. She got it. She wasn't sure. She almost had to go back and touch. She can do anything she wants, and it's always going to be right.
Blasted to center field. And gone. Eric Hosmer hits it over 2 walls in center field. His 8th of the year. And his first home run in a little over a month.
And off another lefty. Third home run off of southpaw this year. There he is. About a 3/4 delivery. That is right over the middle of the plate. Haas with a perfect swing. They don't get any better than that, folks. That is a perfect home run swing. Look at how he making contact out in front. Great balance. And that ball was tattered and battered. 2 walls up. I call it the 2nd tier here, and I don't believe I've ever witnessed one go over the 3rd tier.
424 feet.
You can't have a better swing. That is textbook.
And it doesn't sound any better than that either.
Loud and crisp. I was saying, man, it's about time. He and his teammate Lorenzo Cain are the only two Royals have gone second tier this year, dead center.
Mike Jacobs was here for 1 year. I think that preceded you. That's the only guy I can remember clearing all 3 of those walls in center field. Now, I remember last year Mike Trout hit one into the water just to the left of deep center field. But as far as clearing those 3 walls.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, and the third one there is the regular wall.
Mike Jacobs was the only one I remember
really
hitting all 3. Sandoval, bare hands, no throw. Infield hit for Kendrys Morales, and Sandoval's pointing up to the lights. He may have lost that in the lights.
It was definitely a high chopper over the infield. Morales is not going to get a lot of those, but he'll take it. His second infield hit of the year. Look at that. That is a high hopper, and it bounced towards the third baseline. Tough angle. Look at him ready. Reaction position coming in. Going to hold off. Pocket ball. Put it in the pocket.
Alex Gordon has extended his hitting streak to 10 games. Lorenzo Cain, if the Royals can string together some more batters tonight, give Cain a chance to extend his to 10. He's still stuck at 9. 6 RBIs for Gordon during that 10-game hitting streak. 2 balls, 1 strike. Three and 1. Full count. Morales is on the move, and Alex fouls it back.
Crowd's into it like they always are. They're not letting this lead by Boston take any of their enthusiasm away. There's another runner.
And that'll bring up Drew Butera, who took over behind the plate last half inning. And before he sees his first pitch, Carl Willis will go out and have a chat with Robbie Ross Jr. Told you earlier about the Red Sox struggle on the mound. They are last in the American League in ERA. And early this season, May the 7th, the Red Sox fired their pitching coach Juan Nieves, and Carl Willis, who had been managing in the minor league system, was called up. He has also been a pitching coach with the Cleveland Indians. Drew Butera bats with 2 on, 2 out. Royals are down to their last 4 outs on offense. And Swihart was crossed up. That was not the pitch he was expecting, so he's going to go out and make sure they're on the same page with a runner at second base.
Robbie Ross again, fastball. He sinks it, slider change. Tried an off-speed pitch there that first time on Butera. He's looking for a nice hit for himself. Trying to get that average up if he can.
Good fastball at 94. First career at bat for Drew Butera against Robbie Ross Jr. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I hope she's farther back from that netting than it looks like on our screen. That'll move the runners up. Rodriguez pitched really well against the Royals. You're going to hear a lot of praise about his work tonight, but he didn't completely dominate the Royals. The Royals have had some chances. They had 2 runners in the second, runners in the third, fourth, 2 runners in the fifth, 2 in the seventh, 3 in this inning, and now 3 balls and 2 strikes on Butera. They have left 6 on base, but Red Sox pitching so far with men on base when they've needed to make a big pitch, they have. Got him with a pitch out of the strike zone. Swihart will throw down to complete the strikeout, and now the Royals have left 8 on base in 8 innings. So Ross gives up the home run to Hosmer. It is now a 7-2 game to the 9th inning. Celebrity softball game. Mesmerized by his conversation down in the dugout suite. Tomorrow at 6:10, Hy-Vee Royals Live begins at 5:30. Edinson Volquez with a 3.1 ERA going up against an old foe, Rick Porcello. Now at the Red Sox, he has a 5.29 ERA. And then Chris Young and Wade Miley on Sunday afternoon. Lou Kochaver will pitch the top of the 9th inning. He has pitched 10 innings and allowed 8 earned runs. He has struck out 11. And he'll start with Mookie Betts, who's had a career night literally with his first major league 4-hit game.
Man, that's a long story.
Well, she has a captivated audience, that's for sure. So a 4-hit game, not a 5-hit game. Mookie Betts is out for the first time. That could be. Do we know who that is talking to Rob Riggle?
I don't.
I'm thinking, is that somebody selling him on a roll or a script?
That's very possible.
You know?
That could be some business. You know how business gets taken care of at ballparks sometimes. Folks come out and chat, talk about business.
Yep.
You might be on it.
And just when you think the main character is going to walk out of the building, that's when the plot turns. That's where the twist takes place.
Well, they have had fun tonight, I guarantee it.
David Ortiz, bad luck 0 for 4. He has hit 2 hard ground balls to Eric Hosmer, and he has lined a Kane in center field. Pretty good swing at a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, there might be some out there thinking that he's just not able to catch up to that fastball anymore. I think this, might be something to that, because, it's really difficult to as you age, you get close to 40, that, you're still be able to compete at the highest level like that on those hard fastballs. But we've seen tonight, not a lot of luck. Finally gets one in.
If Eric Hosmer caught that ball, David Ortiz may have tackled him and strangled him.
He looked like he was going to glove it.
He might tackle him anyway.
No, he's just saying thanks for not catching. I needed a hit right on the chalk.
Base hit into center field for Castillo in his first at bat. Rusney Castillo. The Red Sox gave him a ton of money. He is out of Cuba, signed to a 7-year contract and over $70 million. That was the most money given to an amateur free agent, more than Jose Abreu, also from Cuba, signed by the White Sox a couple of years ago, more than Yasiel Puig. He has the equivalent, he's considered an amateur, but he has the equivalent of a lot of professional experience playing at a very high level in Cuba and around the world.
For sure. Red Sox had Yoenis Cespedes, another fine Cuban player. They traded him.
And now a player from Aruba, Xander Bogaerts. Back to Hochevar. Colon adjusts, throws to first. Hosmer got his foot back on the bag. A 3 former first-round picks double play.
He got it. Is that what he's doing?
At least 10 hot dogs there.
Wow, man, how about it?
Stephen Wright now pitching for the Boston Red Sox. How many times do you think Stephen Wright in his life has been asked if he is related to the comedian Stephen Wright? Remember Stephen Wright, the comedian? Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. This young man here, he features a knuckleball. See how many he throws up there. He's got a knuckleball and a two-seam fastball.
Alex Rios, Omar Infante, Christian Colon coming up in the 9th inning.
So knuckleball pitcher, you know, it's hard for catchers to catch it, so you want the biggest possible glove. So that's an abbreviated catcher's glove and first baseman's glove. It's a combination. And there it was. Rios couldn't pick it up, couldn't get a full swing on it.
There's the final out of the bottom of the 7th inning, and even though the big slick guys were on Pablo Sandoval a little bit, he walked over to their dugout suite and gave away a souvenir. I am told that the comedian Stephen Wright is from Boston.
Probably makes it even worse for this Stephen Wright.
Do you have a favorite Stephen Wright joke?
Not presently ready.
Dave Holtzman gave me one of his favorites. I intend to live forever. So far, so good.
Well, you know, he's got some character, but this guy here has got a knuckleball. Okay, that's something the comedian Stephen Wright doesn't have.
Cross-country skiing is great if you live in a small country.
There's a knuckler. It's a flutter. Infante out on top of it. I can't think of another one, but that was pretty good.
Our director Steve Kurtenbach has submitted. They say it's a small world, but I sure wouldn't want to paint it.
Okay.
Yep. When I first read the dictionary, I thought it was a long poem about everything.
Oh. You and I have similar thoughts.
They say you're not supposed to put metal in a microwave oven. They're right. Whatever happened to him? Is he still on the circuit? He just kind of disappeared, didn't he?
I haven't heard him much.
Yep, Dave Holtzman brought it up. Looks like smaller venues, but he's still out there. Christian Colon hits it out to left center field. And in a 5-run game with 2 outs in the 9th inning, he'll stop at second base with a double.
He stayed right on that 3-2 pitch. Must have been a straight one. 2-seamer. Yeah, sure enough, is a four-seamer. He was trying to get that cookie right by him, and Colon would not allow it. He says, I don't get much playing time now, and I'm going to take advantage. And nice drive to left center.
Knuckleball got away from him. Ball one to Mike Moustakas. One and one. A rare hitless night for Mike Moustakas. There's Rick Porcello. The Royals will see him tomorrow at 6:10. Seen a lot of him with the Tigers. And that's out into right center field. So Moustakas ends up with a hit and an RBI, and he'll stop at second base with a double.
Excellent placement. Wish you could place them all where you want it, but I'm impressed with the fact that both Colon and Moustakas could have had 3 bags if they wanted it. But when you're down, there's no need. Look at that. That knuckleball didn't knuckle much. It just stayed right up above the belt, and Moose was ready for it. Put a nice, easy swing on it. But you know, when you're down a lot of runs like that, you don't want to force the triple when, you know, really you're in scoring position already.
And this gives Lorenzo Cain a chance to extend his hitting streak to 10 games. So Carl Willis back out there. I often wondered what a pitching coach does when they go out and talk to a knuckleball pitcher if they never threw a knuckleball, right?
Yep. It's positive encouragement, probably. Hey, look, you know what? If that knuckleball's not working, try your 2-seamer down low. We got 2 outs here. Come on, you can get him out. I don't believe there's too many active pitching coaches that ever threw a knuckleball, to my knowledge.
Gets away from Swihart. Ball one to Cain. Lorenzo has a 9-game hitting streak. And if he could get a base hit here, it would be his second 10-game hitting streak of the season. There's only 4 other players in the league who have done that so far this year. It's way outside, and that'll get Moustakas to third.
Well, the one thing about that knuckleball is that nobody knows where it's going, including Stephen Wright once he releases it. Ball, it catches the air pocket with no spin on it, and the seams make the ball go wherever it wants to go. There's a good looking shot.
And that's inside. 3 balls, no strikes. So he goes with a fastball. That's not a bad fastball for a knuckleball pitcher. 86 miles an hour.
I'm impressed with the velocity he has on that. Most guys, they just kind of 2-seam it up there around, 80 miles an hour. Maybe late 70s.
One hop to Sandoval. Strong throw to first is in time. And that will end the game and put an end to Lorenzo Cain's 9-game hitting streak.
Love the hustle.
So on one hand, it was a tough night at the plate for the Royals, but really more accurately, it was a very good night on the mound for the Boston Red Sox, beginning with their 22-year-old Eduardo Rodriguez. Red Sox score 7, and they take game 1. We'll be right back.